Welcome to another episode of Aging to Perfection. This is a great podcast talking about all the nuances that go into aging, but, really trying to take a look at it and make sure that we're doing it perfectly. So today with me, I have Kelly Pettito with House of Colors. So welcome, Kelly.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I appreciate you coming from Jackson, right?
Yes.
Jackson. Well, we appreciate that so much. So I want to talk to you about House of Colors. So if you would introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, my name is Kelly, and I am a business owner in Jackson, Michigan, which it's funny because a lot of people think it's crazy. They have to go to Jackson to have this service done. But I have been an owner, a franchise owner since 2020.
Oh, wow.
2020. So during the pandemic, I kind of went down this rabbit hole, found out about color analysis, which I'd never heard of. And so it just kind of got me intrigued in the process. Everybody in 2020 wasn't feeling that great about themselves.
Right.
And so this is just something that I found interesting. And when I looked up a consultant in our area, there were not any in Michigan. So I traveled to Virginia.
Okay.
To have my colors done with my daughter.
Wow. All the way to Virginia.
All the way to Virginia.
Okay.
And so from that, it just kind of became a passion of something I wanted to bring to this area.
So when you talk about color analysis, what are we analyzing? What are we doing?
So we really look at your skin's undertones. We all either have blue or yellow. And the idea that I found out is that color analysis is not a new concept, but the process of determining your season has been perfected over the last 30 to 40 years. So you may have heard of grandmothers or mothers that have done this.
Okay.
A lot of times they did home parties. They did things at makeup counters. They looked at your hair, your eyes. They tried looking at your veins. Those things have been proven to be inaccurate.
Okay.
So our process is pretty in-depth.
So what do you do? Let's say I'm booking an appointment with Kelly. I'm coming to Jackson. What does this look like? What do I do?
So the biggest thing that we need, first of all, is natural daylight. So again, doing it indoors with lighting, you have beautiful studio lights in here and makeup counters to have the same thing. It's not exact.
Okay.
So natural daylight, we use our precision dye drapes and we really hold them up to your skin on a makeup-free face. So we tell people do not wear self-tanners, do not put any makeup on, which is hard for people.
Right.
And we really watch how your skin responds to the drapes. We even cover up your hair if you have any kind of hair color, which is probably 95% of the people that I see. Yes.
One of my first episodes, and you can go back and listen to that for people that are listening right now, is Does Gray Mean Granny? And I know that you and I had talked about this too, that, even picking out your true hair color is going to be an important aspect of this. So that was crazy. You showed me some pictures before this about, people changing their color of their hair. So, how many people have you gone through that have just had the wrong hair dye that have to go back and redo everything?
A lot. A lot. We say that hair is the hat you never take off. It surrounds your face. And so it makes a big impact on how you show up. I'm a good example. I started turning gray at 16.
Okay.
And so I always put hair color. When I was young, my mom helped me with the box. And then as I got older, I went to salons and they started putting highlights in. Typically, they were putting warm in, and I was happy I didn't have gray hair, but I didn't necessarily love what was happening. As I got older, more gray, more highlights. And so my hair was really brassy. When I go back and look at pictures, it's really disappointing that's really what I was doing, and I wasted a lot of money and had better options.
Yeah. So I am a huge TikTok fan. It's almost bordering obsession, I would say. And, I've been seeing a lot of people on TikTok, putting those swatches up to their face. And is this something you can do at home? How can you tell what looks good on you or not?
So thankful for social media to bring awareness to color analysis, but the accuracy just is not there.
Sure.
So as an example, in 2020, when everybody was shut down, House of Color did experiment with online or virtual color analysis options, and they just wouldn't compromise. They just didn't feel that the technology was going to be enough. And I can say that too. When I film in my home studio with the drapes, you can see that they look much different in the phone than they do when I'm staring at them right in front of me.
Yeah.
So people invest money in this service, so we do not want to get it wrong. And so, other companies might offer that, but it's really not the best option.
Okay. So, we had talked on the phone prior to this conversation. And, one of the things that we talked about was, And one of the things I want to talk about too is dressing for the ages. So do you feel like people have to change their dress attire based on their age?
No. I feel like, I have clients that come in my studio who are in their 70s and they are full of life and happiness. And to put them in dark, drab colors just to hide doesn't do them any service. People should really dress what makes them feel good. And even if it's just putting on a lipstick, it really can show up your eyes, makes your teeth whiter. You just look more alive and awake. So no, I don't feel like there's a cap on.
I love that because there's some times that I put on an outfit, I'm like, ooh, that's a little young. Like sometimes I just feel, and maybe that's just because I'm not wearing the right clothes. So I know we talked about that as well is, putting something on. I have a girlfriend and she cracks me up on Sunday nights. And Delaney, if you're listening, this is you. On Sunday nights, she will pick out her clothes for the entire week. And I'm like, I could never do that because I may not feel comfortable in what I'm wearing that I picked out for Monday. I'm like, that just doesn't look good today. Yeah. So it just cracks me up. So I don't know if you have clients like this too, or if that's just the wrong clothes that we're picking out, or.
So it's kind of twofold. I mean, we offer two main services. House of Color offers color analysis and style analysis. So most people start with color first because the impact is more immediate. You get your hair color right, you get your makeup right, you get the clothes that sit next to your face, right? You see immediate differences or improvements. Style is more, we look at your body architecture. We also do what we call a personality quiz so that we dress you authentically and you don't feel like you're dressing to trends. You don't feel like there's an age limit. So like I said, you could have somebody who's in their 70s, who's very lively, very happy, very youthful. You don't need to dress them matronly. And on the opposite of that, you could have somebody who's 20, who's very mature, likes clean lines, more of a classic look. We're not going to put them in funky, baggy clothes that don't feel right for them.
Yeah.
So I think there's a way you can admire everybody's unique style and not feel like you have to compare if you're doing it right.
Sure. I just love that body architecture. That I'm using that forever now. So I'm sorry, but I'm stealing it from you. I think it's the best way to describe somebody's physique. So I'm using it constantly. So we talked about clothing, we've talked about hair. What about jewelry? Does that impact?
It does, yes. So again, your metals will look best with the colors that you're wearing, but also your skin tone. Again, I teach my clients, this isn't about, ditching your sentimental pieces, your fine jewelry. A lot of people they look directly at their wedding band. I'm like, you're not walking around with that next to your face.
Some might, I don't know, right?
Yeah. Like, if you like the man, keep it. If not, you can upgrade. No, but in honesty, like, even if you're looking at items with hardware built into it, so like purses, leather, jackets, those buttons, those zippers, those chains on purses, it really can elevate a look or make it look cheap.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that once you see it, it's hard to unsee it.
Yeah.
Again, I tell my clients, there's no fashion police following you around. Not everybody knows this, but it helps you be a little bit more mindful when you're looking at things.
Yeah. Do anybody come in and say, my husband got me this ring, but I really feel like platinum would look better on my hand? And you can just, I went to a professional, honey. Yeah. Platinum is where it's at, apparently. But your website is so great. I was looking at your website today for this conversation and so many great articles. Homecoming is upon us, and I think people have already gone through homecoming, but you had, best dresses to wear for full figures, all these kind of things. But the one that caught my eye that I've never heard about, but now that I know about it, it's very impactful to me. We're talking about changing seasons right now. We're still feeling like the end of summer, but we're going into fall. Leaves are changing, and there's something called dopamine dressing.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
So dopamine really has to do with like mood enhancers. So, if you think about sometimes if you're in a bad mood, you wake up and you put on something dark. It doesn't really boost your spirit. You kind of stay dark all day. But if you put on something brighter, that's a little bit happier, even if you have to kind of fake it till you make it, it really does help.
Seriously.
Even if you think about, I remember when I was deciding on colors for my children's bedrooms when they were little, I read about what colors make you happy and what colors like are not the best.
Yeah.
And so it really is, it is really factual on some of those impacts that it can have on somebody.
That is crazy. And it's, it's funny that you say that because, so I do government affairs for AARP, and yesterday I suffered a pretty bad loss in the legislature, and I literally wore all black today because I wasn't thinking about it, but I must be, feeling the loss of that today. So I think that's really quite true. Mm-hmm. And also probably the type of clothes that you wear. Maybe if you're not feeling as, great, your body architecture isn't what you want it to be that day, you probably wear more baggy clothes and that kind of thing.
Which sometimes will make you look bigger.
Yeah.
So we really focus on how do we make your proportions, whatever they are, look more balanced and yet feel comfortable. So even we talk about things like purse placement, sometimes, people will put their purse right in front of their hips if they're self-conscious. Mm-hmm. Well, guess where I'm looking?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, your purse and your hips. So it draws more attention to that area. So there's just little strategies that you'll learn, even about like necklines, and just there's so much into it that it's fascinating.
So we've talked, I feel like this has been very hyper-focused on women, but do you have male clients too? Do you have men coming in?
I do. Men typically don't wear makeup.
Yeah.
So even if they are in sales or things like that, those colors that they're putting next to their face can really make a big impact on, do you look trustworthy? Do you look drowsy? Do you look like you have red in your face? What does that mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of preconceived judgments that we make about people based on how they look. We judge people in about 90 seconds of just laying eyes on them. So yes, I do see men for color and style. They don't really like their before and after pictures posted very much, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I find that men actually are very visual, and they come in and they ask some great questions because they're like, oh, I could even wear this as a baseball hat or a hoodie. So it doesn't have to be just suit and tie type of dress for men.
I know. I was sharing with Kelly when she walked in. I'm like, this was one of the most nerve-wracking, getting my makeup, my hair done, picking out the right outfit to make sure I wasn't being analyzed. But of course I am, because I haven't gone to you yet. So, how do you know that you're wearing the right clothes? How do you know that you're wearing the right colors? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to get rid of my entire closet once I come to you? And then what does that look like?
No, absolutely not. And that's one of the misconceptions we want to correct is our goal is not to tell you, okay, you've been doing it wrong, start over. It's when you go to buy new things, you can start slowly adding that in. Everybody's different. Some people are more, instant gratification. They are going to go through and make changes quicker. Mm-hmm. But, you can start small. You can just start wearing the right makeup. You can make sure your hair is on the right track. You can go through your closet and see what is in there that you are not wearing. And if now you know what you're not wearing is not your color, get rid of that first. Make some space. Okay. Get that out of your way. Then you can start looking at your closet, like where do I need to fill some gaps, and start looking for those colors. You get color swatches, so that helps you know what you're looking for. So you're more mindful about shopping. The idea is you're going to create a wardrobe that you love.
Yeah.
You don't have to try things on and take it off, try things on and take it off, and not know why. So eventually you'll have a closet full of things that you look at and you like them, instead of a closet full of things and saying, I have nothing to wear today.
Right. Which is me pretty much every day when I'm looking at my closet. So you said you're a franchise. You were the first person to come to Michigan with this amazing color analysis, House of Colors. So are there any other places now in Michigan people can go to?
There are. So you can always go to the House of Color website, and you can put in your zip code and you can find a consultant who may be closer to you.
Okay.
We have a couple in the Detroit area. We have a couple in like the west side of the state. St. Joe is where they are. But yeah, you can. We're located throughout the U.S. We're a UK-based company, but we've grown rapidly in the United States. So
Okay.
just go to the website and put in a zip code and you can find somebody closer.
And it is Colors with a U because
It
it
is.
is UK
It is
based.
UK,
So I just
yes.
want to make sure people are aware of that. But I just really appreciate this conversation. And I love the fact that, we've had a couple individuals on the show and, we had one person come in who's an esthetician. And the one thing that she said is that we're just trying to enhance what you already have. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you're getting at too, is that age does not matter. It's enhancing what you already are bringing to the table. And so I just love that. I love this idea of color analysis. I love the body architecture conversation. I think that's so important too, because I think as women, we really do feel insecure and that we are being judged by other women more likely than not. And we should lift each other up. And I think there's just one way to do self-expression, making sure that you're getting yourself out there, but also feeling really good about yourself too. So
yes, I agree 100%. Our goal is to make you look and feel great. And we're all designed in a beautiful, unique way. And our goal is to just show off those best features.
Oh, I love it. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for being here with House of Colors. And I hope that you all go to her website, which is
www.houseofcolor.com.
perfect. And you all get your color analysis and your style and your makeup done and all these great things so that we can look our best. So thank you so much, Kelly, for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.